Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Deepika, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Bangladesh accepts targeted attacks on minorities, 88 cases filed, 70 accused held till October. Probing martial law, South Korean police raid President Yoon Suk's office while ex-defense chief tried to kill himself. Israel's Netanyahu rejects ridiculous charges at corruption trial. India evacuates 75 of its citizens, including 44 pilgrims from Jammu and Kashmir as rebels take over Syria. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with young innovators at the grand finale of Smart India Hackathon 2024. Let's begin with the top story first. In Bangladesh, a total of 88 cases have been filed in incidents related to the minorities this year, while 70 people were arrested in connection to this. In a regular press briefing, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam mentioned about the recent attacks on minorities. He said that the tally of arrests may increase as new cases of violence erupted. He also reaffirmed that those guilty will be brought under law. He added that there might be cases where some victims were members of the previous ruling party. There have been a spate of incidents of violence against minorities as well as attacks on temples in Bangladesh in the latest few weeks that triggered strong concerns in New Delhi. And now DD India's Naval Singh Parmar joins us from Dhaka on phone line. Good afternoon, Naval. Now, incidents of violence continues to rise in Bangladesh. What is the latest update on its rise and control as well, Naval?
Deepika, yesterday there was one press briefing from the Chief Advisor, head of the interim government, Professor Mohammad Yunus' office. His personal media secretary inform the audience or the reporter that there have been around 88, to be precisely 88 cases have been registered of the incident related against the minority from August 5th to October 22. So and in that cases around 70 people have been arrested, and law enforcement agencies are working to file the cases related to other incident which had happened post arrest of Chinmay Krishna Das Prabhu. So there are some major incident occurred in the Sunamganj, Narsingdi, Chattogram and Dhaka. So the number may go up, and there will be more arrests in coming days. And post the our Foreign Secretary's visit to Dhaka, the government now seems a little bit more sensitive, and they have instructed the law enforcement agencies, and they had a dialogue with the religious leader before the our Chief Foreign Secretary's visit here in Dhaka. So they can have a real-time basis information regarding the violence against the minority. So in coming days, the number of cases may increase, and more arrest will be there. The latest data is around 88 cases have been filed, and the law enforcement agency are working towards providing a safe and secure environment towards the in the minorities areas and the areas where some incidents happened in past.
All right. Thank you so much, Naval Singh Parmar, for joining us and bringing us the latest update on the Bangladesh situation right now. On to South Korea. The police have raided the presidential office of the East Asian nation today as the investigation into his declaration of martial law gathers pace. The Special Investigation Team has conducted a raid on the Presidential Office, the National Police Agency, the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency and the National Assembly Security Service. Yoon is the subject of criminal investigation on insurrection charges over his short-lived imposition of martial law, but he has not been arrested or questioned by the authorities. Yoon is already under a travel ban. Another update, South Korea's former defense minister tried to kill himself shortly before he was formally arrested over his role in this month's martial law operation. Defense Minister Kim Yong-kyu resigned last Thursday and was formally arrested on Tuesday based on the charges including engaging in critical duties during an insurrection and abuse of authority to obstruct the exercise of rights. During a parliamentary hearing, the Commissioner General of the Korea Correctional Service said the former minister tried to kill himself minutes before his arrest was announced. South Korea's National Assembly Speaker Woo Won-shik has invoked the parliamentary right to launch an investigation into the martial law situation. South Korean Prime Minister said he blames himself for failing to stop the emergency martial law that was declared by President Yoon Suk-yeol last week. And thousands of protesters rallied outside the parliament in Seoul, demanding the impeachment and arrest of South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol and the disbandment of his party following last week's martial law attempt. Updates from Israel now. The corruption trial against Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will resume today. Netanyahu testified for the first time on Tuesday in his long-running corruption trial, rejecting what he described as absurd allegations against him. Appearing at a crowded courtroom in Tel Aviv on Tuesday, the embattled Israeli leader said the charges leveled against him were an ocean of absurdity. Israel's longest-serving Prime Minister faces charges of bribery, fraud and breach of public trust in 3 separate cases. He's consistently denied any wrongdoing. He further accused the media of being biased towards him. Moving on, the UN General Assembly will today vote on a draft resolution that seeks an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, a symbolic gesture after the US previously vetoed a similar action in the UNSC. In addition to calling for an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire, the draft resolution seeks immediate and unconditional release of all hostages and accommodation of the United States and other staunch allies of Israel. The resolution, that is non-binding, also demands immediate access to widespread humanitarian aid for the citizens of Gaza who have been subjected to more than a year of war with Israel, especially in the besieged north of the territory. Israel, meanwhile, has denounced the draft resolution ahead of the vote. A second draft resolution up for a vote on Wednesday will call on Israel to respect the mandate of UNRWA and allow it to continue its safe and unhindered humanitarian assistance operations after Israel voted to ban it. The ban, which is due to take effect on the 28th of January, sparked global condemnation, including from key Israeli backer, the United States. In Syria, the new interim leader took charge as caretaker prime minister with the backing of the former rebels. The appointment comes after al-Bashir met with members of al-Assad's government. The meeting was held under the headline of transferring the files and institutions to caretake the government. In a brief address on state television, Mohammed al-Bashir said he would lead the interim authority until the 1st of March. Bashir, in his first interview to Qatar's Al Jazeera television, said it was time for stability and calm across the country.
Today we held a cabinet meeting that included a team from the Salvation Government that was working in Idlib and its vicinity and the government of the ousted regime. The meeting was under the headline of transferring the files and institutions from the government of the ousted regime to the transitional government in order to receive these files and conduct business. This means that there will be a Syrian government that will handle these files and manage the business during a transitional period, God willing, that may end on March 1st. The General Command has tasked us with running the transitional government until March 1st, 2025.
Now, India has evacuated 75 nationals from Syria following the recent developments in the West Asian country. The evacuees included 45 Syrian or the pilgrims from Jammu and Kashmir who were stranded at Saida Zainab. All Indian nationals have safely crossed over to Lebanon and will return by available commercial flights to India. The evacuation was coordinated by the embassies of India in Damascus and Beirut following the assessment of security situation and requests from Indian nationals in Syria. Indian nationals remaining in Syria are advised to stay in touch with the Indian embassy in Damascus at their emergency helpline number and email ID for more updates. The government of India says it will continue to monitor the situation closely. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused a stern warning to Syria's new regime. Speaking in a video address on Tuesday, Netanyahu stressed that it would take necessary measures to safeguard its security and prevent threats from emerging across its borders.
We want to have relations with the new regime in Syria. But if this regime allows Iran to re-establish itself in Syria, or allows the transfer of Iranian weapons or weapons of any kind to Hezbollah or attack us, we will respond forcefully and we will exact a heavy price. What happened to the previous regime will also happen to this one.
Now, as Beijing held its biggest maritime mobilization in years, Taiwan said that it had detected 53 Chinese military aircraft and 19 ships near the island in the past 24 hours. The aircraft and vessels, that included 11 warships, were detected in Taiwan's airspace and waters in 24 hours. Now, that was the highest number of aircraft detected in a single day since a record 153 were reported on the 15th of October after China staged large-scale military drills in response to live speech days earlier. There has been intense speculation about the possibility of China launching military exercises in response to Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's visit to the United States last week. Thousands have been ordered to evacuate near the city of Malibu in the U.S. state of California after a fast-moving wildfire broke out and burned hundreds of acres, including several homes. It is not yet clear what caused the fire, but the region has been under a red flag warning.
California continues to face the imminent dangers of massive wildfires. After battling massive wildfires in recent past, the western coast state is again witnessing another record-surging fire. A fierce wildfire spread across California's Malibu on Tuesday, forcing extensive evacuations and threatening homes as firefighters struggle to contain the blaze. The wildfires known as the Franklin Fire had swelled to more than 2,600 acres and was still raging out of control. The National Weather Service has posted a high danger red flag warning because of powerful winds that are fanning the already dangerous fire. Around 2,000 buildings in the eastern half of Malibu were issued a compulsory evacuation order. Authorities went door to door overnight to alert thousands of residents and closed roads as the fire grew.
LA County fire units were responded to a report of a brush fire at Malibu Canyon Road and the tunnel. Units reported 5 acres of heavy brush burning and being spread by strong Santa Ana winds. The fire is currently estimated at over 2,200 acres, and we have 700 firefighting personnel assigned.
People living in another part of the city were also advised to leave. Tens of thousands across Southern California had their electricity cut off.
This is a notorious area. The wind's coming straight down Malibu Canyon like a blowtorch. And so they're in harm's way every time there's a fire over there. It's a beautiful area, but you know, with all the trees and the landscaping, it's dangerous.
California is prone to wildfires. However, scientists say that climate change is making weather conditions that led to wildfires, such as heat and drought, more likely.
In Philippines, homes, roads and buildings covered in ash in the aftermath of a volcano eruption in the central Philippine province of Negros Occidental. Mount Canlao, an active volcano straddling the Southeast Asian country's central provinces, erupted for a second time this year on Monday, sending an ash cloud of up to 2.5 miles into the sky at about 7 GMT at local time. The region stays at the alert level of 3. That means there is an increased risk of lava flows and the potential for hazardous eruption within weeks. The Civil Defense Office said emergency evacuations were underway for people living near the volcano. About 54,000 people could be affected by the eruption. Time to take a short break, but coming up next on DD India Live, all the latest updates from Parliament's winter session. India's league occasion action at World Chess Championship, which is set to restart after rest day. And all you need to know about federal protections to the monarch butterfly.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. Now, updates from the winter session of the ongoing Parliament. Both the houses of the Indian Parliament have been adjourned till 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and later the Rajya Sabha was further adjourned for the day. It is scheduled to meet once again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Earlier, India's Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju slammed Congress party over the no-trust motion against Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar and said that if the opposition attacks the dignity of the chairman, we will protect, quote-unquote. Kiren Rijiju also raised the issue of alleged links between American billionaire George Soros and the Congress, claiming that the Congress was standing with anti-India forces. Opposition members led by the Congress stood up to oppose the minister's speech, and amidst the din, the Rajya Sabha was adjourned till noon. And now to discuss more on this, I am joined by DD India correspondent Anil Thomas. Good afternoon, Anil. Once again, a probe led to House adjournment today at the Parliament. What else are we expecting today that is scheduled to unfold, because there was a lot of ruckus that we saw in both the houses at the Parliament today, Anil?
Well, good afternoon, Deepika. Well, the two houses have been anti-climax or antithesis of sorts, especially when it comes to functioning. The Rajya Sabha, as it began, there was almost ruckus that was created by the opposition. The Parliamentary Affairs stood up and did give a clarification with regards especially with regards to the movements and the developments in the House, and said at no point of time are they ready. The government is ready to listen to especially defamatory remarks and or dishonoring the chair. And pandemonium broke loose after that. The Parliament was the Rajya Sabha was adjourned till 12 p.m. 12 noon. After that, Vice Chairman did come to the chair and did try and conduct this, proceedings further, but no headway being made, and the proceedings for the day being adjourned there in the upper house. Meanwhile, in the lower house, things have just been the opposite. There's been normal conduct of the question hour from 11 to 12, and post that, matters of urgent public importance are right now being discussed. So things looking totally different, especially when it comes to the two houses of functioning. The Rajya Sabha adjourned for the day, but Lok Sabha working smoothly. And the discussions that the opposition, the detailed letter that the opposition did send to the government, clearly helping, some kind of headway being made in the lower house, and proceedings in the lower house moving smoothly.
Also, Anil, tell us about the major bills which are to be tabled during this winter session of the Parliament.
Well, there are important bills because there's pending business from Monday, Tuesday that will spill over into Wednesday, and surely bills that were there for Monday and Tuesday surely going to come into play on Wednesday in the Lok Sabha, but some kind of head.
There seems to be a connectivity issue. We are not getting the signals from there. But there you heard the latest update from the Parliament and how are we expecting the next plan of action to carry forward. Moving on, the grand finale of Smart India Hackathon 2024 will be held on Wednesday. More than 1,300 students, teams from across the country will participate in the finale. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with the participants. Aditya Srivastav reports from Bhopal.
The 7th edition of Smart India Hackathon will begin simultaneously at 51 nodal centers across the country on Wednesday. The software version will run non-stop for 36 hours, while the hardware version will continue from 11th to 15th December. Like previous editions, student teams will work on problem statements given by ministries or departments or industries and present their ideas in the student innovation category against any of the 17 themes related to areas of national importance. These sectors are healthcare, supply chain and logistics, smart technology, heritage and culture, sustainability, education and skill development, water, agriculture and food, emerging technologies, and disaster management.
We are working on the problem statement which is given by Ministry of Agriculture. So our project is basically for the farmers, for the welfare and well-being of farmers.
My entire team is very much excited.
We are engineering students, we are the youth of the nation. So we should know about what is going in our country and we have to make it more developed and better.
Some of the interesting problem statements include enhancing images of dark regions on the moon presented by ISRO, developing a real-time Ganga water quality monitoring system using AI, satellite data, IoT and dynamic models, presented by the Jal Shakti Ministry, and developing smart yoga mat integrated with AI, submitted by the Ministry of Ayush.
This year in the hardware edition, we have over 17 teams who will be coming here from around 8 states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Delhi, NCR, etc. And they will be solving problems by various ministries. Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji will be addressing the students live virtually.
It is worth noting that Smart India Hackathon is an initiative that encourages students and professionals to develop innovative solutions to real-world problems through technology and digital tools.
Youth of the nation is also interested, is also dedicated for the developed India. So the government of India is also trying to enhance their caliber. With camera person Chandramohan, Aditya Srivastav, DD India, Bhopal.
With the aim to enrich the economic policy debate, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman addressed the Global Economic Policy Forum 2024 in New Delhi. Speaking at the event, she said that the inflation continues to be a major challenge for countries globally, adding that the problem cannot be tackled in isolation.
The global priority for this decade should be restore normalcy, talk, sit and discuss. War should be avoided, disruption should be avoided. They are the main cause for supply chain disruptions. They are the main cause for disruptions in food value chains. And also, when you look at it, inflation globally is a big challenge. And therefore, the primary cause, I would think, is the disruption, the skirmish, the war. And as a result, world is facing a challenge which is reflected in very many ways in our economies.
The Finance Minister also added that the industries should work with small and medium enterprises to explore how they can support large units while equally contributing to job creation.
Industry should work together with small and medium units to see how they can be supportive of the large unit equally as much as they supporting job creation. So today the problem is not economic success, which is just production, but it is also economic success, which can spread benefits for those who are waiting for jobs and wages.
Now, retired Indian Administrative Service Officer Sanjay Malhotra today assumed the charge as the 26th Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. Sanjay Malhotra, a 1990 batch IAS officer from the Rajasthan cadre, succeeds Shaktikant Das, whose tenure as the RBI governor concluded on Tuesday. Malhotra's extensive career includes serving as a secretary in the Ministry of Finance and the Revenue Department, where he has played a key role in shaping India's tax policies, both direct and indirect. Prior to this, he was the secretary in the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, where he worked on various financial reforms and policies at both state and central government levels. Sanjay Malhotra will serve a three-year tenure as the RBI governor. In sports, the World Chess Championship between Indian teenage sensation D. Gukesh and China's Ding Liren will restart on Wednesday after its final rest day. On Monday, Ding hit back with a victory in the 12th game right after losing the previous game to D. Gukesh on Sunday. In Game 11, Gukesh stunned the world champion with a breathtaking queen sacrifice, forcing him to resign on the spot. With 2 more games left in the championship, the score are now tied at 6-all. If no player is leading in the overall score after 14 games, the fate of the World Championship will be decided by tie breaks that are played faster in a faster time controls. The United States is moving to grant federal protections to the monarch butterfly, a once common species recognizable by its striking black and orange patterns that has faced a dramatic population decline in recent decades. And before we let you go, India's public service broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves, entering the field of OTT platform. Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.